Hello, everybody. This is Dan with Think Gaming with Kelly, and we're back for another session of Empyrion Galactic Survival. Where we left off last, I believe, we had our base now lit and built by Kelly with at least some of the key stuff in here. Some beautiful windows overlooking the lake, and I think we had just recovered Kelly's corpse. Are you around, Kelly?
I am. I am here with my lovely paint pistol, which apparently will not work on you. But yes, my corpse has been recovered. I am all fit and ready to go.
We probably don't have the technology yet, huh? That was one of the first things I was going to look at, to build a med bay, huh? That would be nice to have some easily accessible healing.
Um, I don't believe I saw the med bay, but I will check. Let me see. We can do a water generator. We can do various cargo blocks, sensors, but not a med bay at this point in time.
Unfortunate. I guess we will need to get there. One of the things I'm going to look at real quick is I'm going to see if I am high enough. It looks like I am. Oh, I'm level 9. Ooh, I'm one away from a level 10. Um, I was going to see if I had a high enough level to build maybe a basic small vessel. Super small, just to scoot around, and not very protected. And it looks like I'm really close. Well, I could do it, but it might be nice to get those medium thrusters. So I am going to take some of the basic stuff that I'm going to need to get. It is really nice to have these and the generator, the fridge, you know, eventually. They added, actually, I believe it was in this alpha release, they added the ability to have warp engine or warp drive and a warp tank on a SV, so you could do some of the short, it's got a limited range, some of the short system travel early on to go after some of the metals that aren't here. So that will come in handy, but not to begin with.
So I'm going to check out our weapon situation right now. I did just look and I can get the med bay, but not till I'm level 10. So I'm still quite a ways off from that. It looks like you took all the ammo that we had.
I very likely did. Yeah, I have 503. Actually, I'm going to dump the old projectile pistol. But if we can make some pistol rounds and some extra rifle projectile rounds, that would be fabulous. It is daytime. Which do I need to actually level, guys? What do you think? Oh, a fair amount. Maybe I will try and do that real quick. Gather some plants. I'm to think of what else would make sense. Could head back over to the silicon. Kelly might end up doing that.
I may actually. That would be good for me to get out exploring and get some levels up, especially if you're going to be constructing a vehicle for us to tool around in.
Okay, there's a bug man. There is no longer a bug man. Now, interestingly enough, see, we had some natives nearby, and apparently they don't care if you kill things like that.
So they care about the dino types, but not the
Yeah,
alien sentient creatures as much, perhaps.
or maybe they don't care about the predators, the things that actually would attack you. As soon as I pop level 10, I will, or when I'm getting close, I'll head back to the base and see if we have enough resources to build pretty much the bare minimum that we would need to build for a small SV. Are we continuing to make some promethium cells? And did
Um,
we turn all the ore into...
we have not turned all of the ore into usable goods, but that is definitely a goal. Promethean, yes, I was still working on that.
So one of the things, folks, we have our survival constructors still, and it's sort of a, min-max type of a strategy, but it makes sense. There are certain objects, and they may have changed them, and they will continue to adjust them, I'm sure, in a base that actually drain the power quite a bit. The constructor tends to be one of them. It used to be, I think, the armor repair used to be one of them. And so while we obviously need to use the constructor because there are additional recipes and components in the constructor that you can build in a base that you can't make in a survival constructor, you still want to use the survival constructor for sort of some of the base stuff, like maybe turning ore
into its refined ingot form.
right, and or turning promethium into promethium pellets, if not the light promethium packs, and the concrete, making the cement into the cement blocks and stuff. And the reason for that is the survival constructors, although they're not very fast, so I found me a aggressive dinosaur, or it found me, I should say. So, there you go. In addition, I think I saw a Bugman over here climbing, so we'll reload. Maybe go play with him. Hey guy, see me? So these survival constructors have unlimited power. So they are a great thing to use, even though they're a little bit slower.
And right now I have them kind of churning out the refined ores and such, and the large constructor is what we're using to make things like our ammunition.
Right. There are I think you can make some basic ammo, maybe the pistol ammo in the survival, but yeah. And if you're playing with more players, of course you have more survival constructors, so you can also kind of use them to organize, this one's making cement, this one's making, whatever, turning ore into the ingots. The great thing about building things like SVs, not ideal, but that is something you can work on at night, right? Just hang out and get the stuff built and start doing it. I'm going to show it to you just because it's something you're obviously going to want to do at some point. But as always, building takes time, right? And if I was an expert, it would be quicker. But it's been a while. After all, we're just getting back into this. And I promise you nothing beautiful. Nothing at all beautiful.
So I am going to swap out my pistol for that. So there will be a few pistol bullets in here, but not many. And I'm going to need to get some more fuel for if I'm going to go mining. So I'm going to have to queue some of that up as well. All this rotten stuff we have.
I'm just finding all sorts of stuff that's normally only around at night. Plant monsters, aggressive dinosaurs.
And why do you think that is? That seems a little strange to me.
I don't know. I thought that stuff, you can run across it in the morning, but I thought it despawned past a certain point. But maybe it's just close enough something. Oh, here comes another one. Again, killed an aggressive dinosaur very close to natives, and they don't care. They're like, good for you.
Now here's a question. Would you like a multi-tool?
I think it would be wise for me to have if I'm building. It's a multi-charge,
Yes.
even though it's not a tier 2 one. I am going to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I will get some charges making for you there and a multi-tool. Okay,
There
so
we go.
lift.
Level 10 unlocked. I'll just head on home. Nope, sounds like a plant man. Why does it sound like more than the plant man? It's because it is more than the plant man.
What do you mean by more?
Aggressive dinosaur and a plant man. Man, those would have been right in Kelly's path. Not leaving her any of the fun, am I?
Well, anyone who watched the last video will see how well I took to killing those plant people last time.
Was it a plant monster that got you?
Well, what you may not have known is while you were out exploring the world, I was getting myself to a very low health level to a plant monster. And then I later decided to run out and loot the mini drones that our turret had destroyed, and unfortunately was at a low enough health that I did not survive. So it was a combination of things there. I may just have failed to mention that to you at the time.
That does seem a little unfortunate. Basically, anything that rots, I'll try and keep like a stack of fridge that is used for cures or other things. So, as an example, put the rot in there, put the seeds, although this actually isn't the appropriate place now that we have storage for seeds, so I'll take those out. May as well use it for what it's for, right? Now, Kelly and I have kind of decided to split, like, what we're getting. And it would make sense to me. I got plenty of points. I'm actually gonna... Oh, goody. Goody, 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 goody.
Uh-oh. I think I made the natives a bit mad at me. I'm running to get up on our building here.
You made the normal natives mad at you.
Yep.
Do I want to know why?
What?
This native right here seems angry.
I think he's angry. I ran away. Did you kill him?
Why is he angry?
Well, maybe he had a pet raptor. And now he doesn't.
A friendly raptor?
Yes.
I see. Okay, well.
Well, I thought he was far enough away. I guess not. But I was trying to get one thing off my quest there, you see.
Gotcha.
Since there was a raptor that was not in a huge group.
So what I was actually going to say before that encounter was that potentially, probably going to end up wanting this so I can make the fuel. T2 drills will be a nice thing. Replacement ore scanner, maybe, we'll see. But even though Kelly is making most of the base stuff, I could, since I did hit level 10, I could take the medic station.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we have, well, we probably do. I think it's probably a wise idea. I mean, she's got a lot of other stuff to buy here anyway, so I'll go ahead and unlock that. Why? I think I hear other gunfire. And someone getting bit.
Not bit, just hurt.
Okay. Why am I not? Oh, in the wrong area. Okay, so devices, medic station. Let's queue up one of
Oh.
those.
Hi. So I thought I'd give everyone a great example of what happens when you bleed to death.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't have your bandages on your bar. Mm-hmm. There's an angry native outside the door.
A normal native, huh?
Mm-hmm. Got shot.
And how did we get into a fight with yet another native?
Well, it was on the roof, and I wanted to see how far my assault rifle could hit things at. Quite far, actually. Pretty good. But then the problem with the roof is that sometimes you can fall off the roof when you're trying to aim at things.
Okay. That seems not really reasonable, but okay. We'll take that. Oh, we got plenty. Okay. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Good, good, good. So they actually added a power meter, probably simplified, shows how much, juice you're using up, so to speak. Interesting, there's batteries now. Oh, that's kicking. We'll have to explore that. So I was thinking this meter was the fuel, and so I grabbed a bunch of fuel. I didn't, in fact, need to. Medic chamber. Did you leave, Kelly?
No, I'm just out here.
Okay, well, there's a medic chamber if you want to place it.
Great.
Put it in the weapon crate.
I was just bringing in some ingots.
Okay. And then I am going to go to small vessel. So, as we said before, these are the filters, so I can click on small vessel and it'll show me, but it's still under each tab. So decoration blocks, this is potentially can be used on an SV along with all the others. That's what the colors mean. These are the devices, at least the ones I've learned, that can be used on an SV. Components are all precursors for the most part, so that's why nothing shows up. It's not really SV specific. These are mass blocks or steel blocks. We can't make hardened. They have more health, little wings and other things. These are weapons, so it doesn't show the ammo, but we could also make the ammo, but we'd have to unfilter it. So, speaking of an SV, interestingly enough, for an SV, we need a small vessel starter block. Okay, so we'll queue one of those. In addition to that small vessel starter block, it's kind of like the starter block for a base. You see it actually uses a core. At a minimum, we're going to need a cockpit. So we'll go ahead and queue up one cockpit. We're going to need a fuel tank. So we'll queue up one fuel tank. We're going to need a generator. Okay. We're going to need an RCS. Otherwise, and you can put more than one of any of these things we're talking about, depending on how much you need, but for a little SV, we're not going to need much. RCSs actually affect things like the turning speed, basically the maneuverability of your craft. So if you want something real maneuverable, you may end up putting a bunch of these in, again, depending on the weight and stuff like that. But we'll start with one. We're going to need thrusters. Now, the way the thrusters work is literally you put one facing opposite the direction you want to go. And so if we want to go left, we need to put one on the right. If we want to go right, we need to put one on the left. If we want to go forward, we put one on the back. If we want to go backwards, we put one on the front. And then if we want to go up or down, obviously you put one on facing up and one facing down. So at a minimum, you would need, if you were making the most basic SV, you would need 6 small thrusters. Now, as you can see as I mouse over this, they have different energy costs. They provide a different amount of force, and they have different health, and they have different weights. They also have different sizes. This doesn't even say it, but it's basically a single block. This one's actually a 1 by 2 by 1, right, width, height. So, however, this one, even though it's taking 2 spaces, is basically providing twice the force at less than twice the energy. However, it is more than twice as heavy. So just for the sake of the example, even though it's going to fly horribly, probably, I'm just going to make 6 of the small thrusters, even though this is what I wanted level 10 for. So that cannon turret is a little damaged. You may want to take a look at that.
All right, I will head out and repair the cannon turret. And I'll also queue up some more salami, I guess.
Well, the fridge was
Time is 150.
off. No, that's showing HUD.
Oh.
No, that's showing HUD. It should be on. Unfortunate. I don't really understand that. That fridge should pretty much keep the stuff refrigerated. I actually don't recall. I thought it kept it like frozen, but maybe it just slows down the perish timer, and a lot of that stuff was already almost perished. I don't know. To tell you the truth.
I would have to take a look when I was actually in the. Oh, guess what?
Good thing you're repairing that, huh? As you can
Right.
see, this is how the med kit or the med station works. You just and then you can interact with it again. You know, so if you're near home base, easy way to get healed up, or if you're headed back home anyway, always wise, but it's not real useful when you're out venturing around and getting bit. So I'm going to take some of this stuff into my inventory. The engines aren't quite done yet, nor are the sort of steel blocks that I'll be using kind of like filler. But I'll take the rest. And it looks like Kelly has some concrete blocks here. So I'm going to take a few of these because I'm not going to use them for the actual SV itself. But what I am going to use it for, you'll see. So I'm going to build up here. It's pretty dark out. I apologize in advance. But, you know, I want a nice flat surface where I can build. And so sometimes we'll build like a little landing pad or something. But this roof is nice and flat.
Would you like me to queue up a couple of lights for you?
That might be helpful for the viewers. There are some lights, but of course they're sort of pointed outwards. But yeah, that would certainly be nice. So what I'm going to do here is the starter block is actually an interesting block. I'm going to put my chainsaw away and my drill, but put my concrete blocks there. What I'm going to show you is, you see how that is? And I think I can do, oh, my bad. Here, I'll let you look at it right there. So what that actually is that's a small core block, along with basically metal blocks around the perimeter. Some are colored blue. That's to help us understand what direction the ship faces, because that's how cockpits attach. They attach to sort of the front. As you can see, this is really only part of the size of a base block, and I'll show you in a minute how well you can tell that. You see how big a base block is? So actual SV blocks, the individual little blocks, you can fit quite a few into the size of a base block. So often what I will do is I will put something down like this that I can actually put the core block on. So I do want to build it fairly high, and let me actually, before I do that, let me show you why. A lot of people have different techniques for these. So if you look at the cockpit, whew, we can see this. I did not think a cockpit was this big. That's insane. Let's use this puppy. Use him later. Maybe we'll make something like this. But that. Oh, wow. No way this is this long. I don't believe it for a heartbeat. No, 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 no. That is not right. Okay. Let's just get to work here. Okay, so we are going to keep it as a big block. And then what we're going to do is I'm just going to put a sort of a little ramp. So say something like this. And I'm trying to remember the turning. There we go. And then I can also put one out front, but I think we're okay. So now what I'm going to do is take this starter block. And really what I want to do is I want to place it so it falls there. So I'm going to do one other thing. I'm going to do this. I'll remove this in a second. Jump up on it. Now if I can get this right, so I just dropped it down. Now you see that little white arrow? That's basically indicating that's front. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, well, I'll leave that temporary. Let's try this cockpit again. This is making me feel slightly better. Now it's starting to act more appropriately. Still can be difficult to place. I may need to do this. Something like this. Let's try that. Oop. Okay, so like, for example, I could in theory place it like that if I wanted to, and it would attach. Now, really what I want is, I don't want anything, I want that core block to be right behind my cockpit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this to disassemble. Then take out, oh, gotta charge it. So now that's my core block. If I take that apart, it wouldn't be useful anymore. But now if I wanted to put this cockpit, it would be like right in front. Now this cockpit looks like it's only too wide, and actually I'm not really that thrilled with it. So let's go with something like, this is 3 by 3 by 5. You can see in the mouse over, it tells you the size and width, height, and depth. 3 by 3 by 5. I think I heard Kelly.
What? I was just jumping. And I might have jumped a little bit too hard on a downward slope.
Okay, this was actually one of my favorite cockpits, so we'll just go with this. So we're gonna put it in. So now what you're gonna see is it's attached to the core. It's facing forward because that's what it'll automatically try and do. I'm jumping around like an idiot. And what we have here is we have and actually if you go in your whatever these are, these guns where you can take stuff apart, which name eludes me, Kelly.
The guns? I don't actually know.
Multi-tool. Thanks.
Oh.
So these are steel blocks which could protect the core. However, what put these concrete blocks away. We also have the things that we need that are critical, but these are also, we want to protect them, right? And so the question will be, where do we place them where they'll be protected? Yet, you know, they take up space. One of the considerations you do want to consider when you're really building a ship is the weight of the objects to try and balance the weight, you know, forward, back, left, right. In our case, you know, this is like 500 kilograms. We know the cockpit's really heavy. This is 1 ton. So this is pretty heavy. And then, so these two make up about the same as that, a little bit less. And then, of course, engines, but you're probably going to place those fairly evenly. So why don't we instead just going for simple here, right? I don't care about anything else except for me apparently unable to jump. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and put, we want to protect it. So we're going to put the engine right here. And in fact, we're going to disassemble this block. And we're going to put the RCS right there, if we can ever get it in. Okay? And then we will put, like I said, the fuel tank. Generator is the heavier one. So we'll put that right. So to change rotation axis, it's insert and delete. And then to actually rotate stuff like through its home and end. So we'll put that right there. And then we'll need a place for our fuel tank. We can either place it right next to it, or we can place it, you know, a little further back. So I'm going to go with the little further back. We're going to make this ship a little bit longer than it needs to be. But that'll allow us maybe to put some cargo containers and those types of things on it. So we'll go ahead and put that here. Actually, I know what we'll do. Let's go ahead and rotate this. Yeah. Okay, so those are our key things. Now what we're going to want to do, of course, is we are going to want to put some, the engines on, which I need to get. Again, this is going to be as basic as they come, pretty much. And you know what we're going to do? Maybe Kelly will queue us up, maybe like a cargo container.
Sure.
I was thinking about, did I build an O2 tank, guys? No, I considered it. That'll just be convenient for later. But then we'd have to build, yeah, we'll build that. We'll just use this currently for around the planet, and then we'll build one so that we can go into space. So, engines. Engines here, put the ordinary blocks here. Let's take a look. So what I'm thinking, I need one going down and one going up, and stuff going to the left and to the right, and probably something protective underneath, but you know, we'll have to decide whether how important that is. So let's just keep it simple. I apologize for all this silly jumping. This is the problem, really. You know what? Kelly would have, you would have thought, she would have said, hey, Dan, remember the drone? Mm-hmm. See?
Mm-hmm.
A little late, but she was going to get there. So what we're actually going to do is, yeah, we're going to go ahead and take out this block. And as a matter of fact, I think we're going to even take out this block. Now, this is going to make this ship, in theory, super vulnerable. But now what we can do is we will change this thruster to go so that's going to face outward, right? And then we're going to make one thruster go down. I think that's down. Sure. Switch back over here. We're going to make a thruster this way. Go this direction. And we're going to make a thruster go up. And then this will be the weird thing, and this is why this design will be, well, there are so many reasons this design is so horrible. Okay. We can make a thruster go back. And if we wanted to have a little bit more forward thrust, we could put another, but remember, I only made enough. So now where are we going to put the thruster to go forward? Well, we could put it right here in the front. And that's what we will do, but that's, you know, going to be pretty vulnerable. But again, this is just for, you know, easy show, if you will. So literally, that is what you would need to fly. I didn't put landing gear on the bottom, which means it can't actually like dock to a base or a CV, a capital vessel. I didn't put oxygen. I didn't put an oxygen refill. There's no cargo containers, but I think Kelly was going to make me one, so I'll put one right here in the back. And that's literally what you need at a minimum. Now, in addition, you know, you could fill in, as it were, some extra armor. Of course, we're going to have so many components that are, but like I could do that and that, you know, just for kicks to give that a little protection from the side, from hopefully some slightly errant gunfire. Put that there. In addition, I could put spotlights on the front. I'm not sure I picked that up, but we'll go get that right now. And the underside is horribly underprotected too. What I would typically do is I put landing gear, and then once I have the landing gear, you know, I'd also put probably at least one row, if not others, of blocks underneath for protection. So, but with that in mind, let's go see what Kelly's got, and let's queue up a couple other things. So, looks like we have a cargo container, which is great. So let me check to see what technology I got. So I did pick up spotlight blocks. And, oh, you know what I didn't do that Kelly should have told me to do?
And what was that?
We're going to build Kelly a little passenger seat. So that way, if we go out, we can, this is enclosed, so this one would be open, but we'll just make one of those. And this would only be if you were making rooms. So I think that was it. I talked about spotlights, the cargo block. This will be interesting with the Kelly seat. So let's go interact. We're still with SVs. Closed. Passenger seat. Look at this. Kelly made me some pistol rounds. Sweet. Said we were going to make some spotlights, so we'll make two. You can also attach lights to it, you know, so. You know what would be interesting while I'm working on this? I wonder whether Kelly would be willing to actually show you coloration that lights can do.
The normal everyday lights?
You name it.
I absolutely can do that. I've just been painting our roof up here. I did put some lights around your ship, so I'm gonna. Oh, friendly drones are on their way back just after I've repaired everything.
Friendly. She
Well,
has an interesting
not
Oh,
so
look at the
friendly.
rain. Brutal rain. Hopefully Kelly is going to defeat these evil ships.
Well, I'm ignoring them. I'm actually just gone into
Wow, there's
the,
3 coming.
There was 3 last time. There's usually a rocket drone and a couple of mini ones there. They should be getting hit about now. Yep.
This is actually bigger than I had thought it would be.
Okay, so let's have a look at this light here, and we can just, you can see they're all white. All of these lights here are
There's
white.
a rocket flying in. 2 of them.
Yeah, this is why we have to keep repairing stuff.
Oh, hey, that hit my...
It did. It hit your ship.
Whoa, did it take out...
Did it destroy something?
What was
I don't
there?
know.
I don't think it did.
You have all your
but-
thrusters?
No, I don't have the one.
That was right there.
Did I not? I did one down, and I was supposed to do one up. That was to the left. That was to the left. One of those was supposed to be up, and I think I covered it. That's bad news. Yeah, I lost an engine.
Okay. So that's really not a great parking spot because they're probably going to hit it every time.
Well, you know,
We are going to
maybe,
relocate though at some point.
maybe you should defend our base better while I'm building.
You think that we need more turrets? I can do that.
So now I need an extra engine, and honestly, what I had done was probably... I actually think it still would have worked because the game allows you to cover the exit for the engine, but I don't like to do that. So I'm actually gonna, for that one, what I'll do is...
Alright, I'm gonna queue up some extra firepower here, and then I'm gonna try and run out and get that loot from
It's about as ugly
the
as
drones.
about as ugly as they come, what I just did. But can you queue up one little... Oh, you can't. No, my bad. This is the problem with splitting the tech tree, of course.
What were you wanting?
Oh, it's a small engine for the SV. I'll do it. Sorry. The small thruster. It got foobarred. If you know what I mean.
I believe I do.
Everybody's familiar with that term, foobar. So I picked up 4 rockets when I killed that rocket drone. So
Great, because I'm about to make a rocket turret.
I don't know if it uses the same thing, but you'll have to see.
Oh.
Once Kelly gets out, I'll grab my small thruster.
There you go.
Thank you. And then I am out. There you go.
Alright, I'm back in. And I'm making... Oh, I can't make a rocket turret. Anyway, oh, we don't have enough cobalt, huh?
Cobalt is, I told you, that's not normally, right? Not normally found. And so I would say if it actually takes that, let's not.
Yep, we're just gonna make another cannon.
So for these spotlights, I'm going to put one that's facing down and one that's facing forward. They look similar, but one will shine a light beam down and one will shine a light beam forward. Again, not really that pretty. Now, unfortunately, you do have some choices as far as the landing gears go. So, like for example, I could try and, ooh, this is kind of nice that allows me to. So I could like maybe say, silly looking guys, but I put that there, right? Ooh, but before I actually do that, you see how this is going to be a little bit deeper because it's going to go one deeper, I think. That'll allow us to put a little bit of protection. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to disassemble. These guns are great because if you own the device, you get the gear back. So it just takes a little energy to do that. But what we're going to actually do is our metal blocks. I'll just cover the bottom. This is going to be ugly. I don't mind. I'll just do this. And it'll be like boom, 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 boom. You know, we could make it rounded. We could, you know, Kelly might color it later. All those fun things.
Well, I was a bit too slow getting out to these mini drones, and I only managed to get one before they disappeared. So that's my bad.
So we lost some loot. There are worse things. Oh, so it automatically reverted. What do you think about that? Will it fit? No. Let's go with the smaller one. Okay, right there. Okay. Fabuloso. Super ugly. Now let's try this one. Again, we're going to go with the low one. I'm going to step back and see if my drone does this any better. Oop. So I don't know if you guys just saw what happened. It's actually kind of funny. I've pushed myself into holes with my drone before. Your drone starts right behind you, so if you push forward, you can literally push yourself. So I am actually going for the ugliest landing gear ever. What I'm going to do is, even though, you know, typically you'd think I'm just going to put one, one long landing gear. We'll see whether I tip over as I land. And then what I'm going to do is, at this point, it's got landing gear in the front and the back. So we're going to go ahead and, oh, I probably should take that one out first. Okay. And we're going to take this one out, and it should drop to the ground. In theory, it should drop to the ground. It's apparently not going to. That's fine. I have no issue with that. In fact, that makes life slightly easier to build. I have one more engine. This is the engine facing up. We're going to have to place. I will probably, I guess I could put it here in the back. I actually may move this one slightly to be a little bit more towards the back. So what we will do is we will just fill in these just to give our cockpit, in theory, a little bit of under armor. We're not going to even give it side armor. That's how cruel we are. Oop, there we go. See, that'll help protect our core from below. Probably should have dealt with that.
I'm guessing that's why the drones actually went for your ship, because it does have a core inside it.
Very possible. Very possible. So I'm going to now move this. I'm going to put this block here instead. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the down engine here. go. That's the down engine, right? Got that side engine. We got that side engine. We're going to move this because we're going to fill these in. Fair enough. And we'll fill that in with a metal one. Do this, and we'll do this. We'll do this, and then instead we'll put the up engine, which I believe we need, right there at the top. There you go. And then we'll put the back engine, so even though it's not centered or anything like that, like that. And then if we wanted to match this up just for kicks, we could probably choose a piece, maybe. Is there sort of a down triangular piece? Not quite like that. Not seeing it. It could be something like one of these wedges, though. So you turn them on an axis, right? You know, let's just stick with the round slopes. Just because I'm too lazy to figure it out. Okay, so we have a back engine, an up engine, a left engine, right? We have a right engine, a down engine, and then we have a forward-facing engine. So that'll drive us backward. We have basic landing gear. Buried in there, we have a fuel tank, we have a cargo container, we have a generator, we have one single RCS. And again, you can cover this stuff. Chances are stuff's not going to be hitting you from the back, and we have a passenger container on the back. So the next question will be, if we put fuel in it, will it fly? There goes Kelly.
Bye.
But Kelly, will it fly?
Will it? Are you inside it?
I need to go get fuel.
Oh. I'm waiting. I'm looking.
Let's go back upstairs. Let's see if we can fly. Or how badly.
Right.
Or did I miss something? Did I forget something? These
We'll find
things.
out.
So here's our ship. I accessed it by pressing P. Wow, our core got damaged, and I should repair that. And our generator got damaged. Neither one got super damaged. I tried to repair most of the ship, but obviously I didn't get it all. I'm going to click Fill All. It'll fill it up out of the power cells that were in my inventory. In addition, I'm going to rotate over here. I can put some of the extra power in here. I always like to carry some. That way, if you need fuel while you're out. And then what I'm going to do is, there's two ways. Well, to get in the cockpit, I can do it through the P panel. You can get close enough to hit F. Now, as soon as I got in, as you can see, it dropped to the base, and that noise you heard was it docking to the base. So here we are. Now, if I hit Y, okay, I've turned it on. It says it's got lots of power. I just took off.
Oh, I see it. It's lifting.
I can rotate.
Woohoo!
I can chase Kelly. Hey, how's that motorbike you got? Is that working out for you? I can go left.
Yeah.
I can go right. So the amount of thrusters you put and the power of the thrusters and the weight of it affects, you know, how quickly, you know, I accelerate and decelerate, so to speak. They have a max speed for all SVs on planets, pretty easy to reach. But the acceleration forward, backwards, left, right, up, down, that's all controlled by the thrusters. And so, but the actual maneuverability is the RCSs. So this flies us around. It's great, works great, no problem, so to speak. Trying to remember what my down key is.
Was it the C?
Yeah, it is.
Where your
But
crouch is?
yeah, and which I do not recall. This is horrible. There it is. Okay. So what is curious is with those horrible landing gears I put that are in a straight line, if I come down on top of our building, I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. But if I come down out here,
Oh no.
perfect. That
It's
was the
over.
plan. Luckily, luckily, it's still
Mhm.
accessible, and yeah.
Now you're flying on your side.
Oh, but this is actually a great opportunity. I'm trying to remember what the keys are. I think O centers you. Okay, maybe it wasn't. Okay, these are I don't remember what the actual key mappings is, but you
I
can,
thought it was O as well,
well, you
but
can roll left and right. That I know, but there is also a key. So these two that I have mapped are left and right. And I think if I hit O, yeah, O evens you out. I just don't remember what I have it mapped on my pad. Um, but yeah, so, that'll come in handy. Trust me. But yeah, now I can see it works fine when I'm over a base though, or a CV, because when I come down here, the docking things will lock. And then when I turn the power off, it's perfectly flat ground, and because they're locked, it doesn't roll over to the side. However, when we're out and about, it's going to roll over all the time. So that is pretty much a basic first SV, the most beautiful thing and functional thing that I have ever built.
well, that seems like a win for us to go out on for the night.
Okay, sounds like a great plan. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sure you'll give me some tips on how I can make this more ugly. And thanks, Kelly, for playing.
All right, catch you all later.
Yep, we'll see you next time.